Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me for this prayerful pause with the pastor, carving out this time of your day when we can think of something greater than ourselves. I have a reading for today. Come here. I have a helper for today, too. You just keep scratching at things here, and it makes a lot of noise. Can you believe how much bigger she's gotten? Want to go lie down? Oh, she says, I'd rather explore over here and come back to where I was. Whatever. I have a reading to share today that came, a few days ago, last week sometime, from the Assisi Institute. I haven't read a lot from them or shared a lot with you lately, but this one kind of struck me. It's called Sharing the Journey, and it's related to our Lenten journey. And so I thought I'd just toss this out there for us to think about for a few minutes. It begins and ends with a poem, and then there's a little section in between. Let nothing disturb you. Let nothing frighten you. All things will pass away. God never changes. Patience obtains all things. Whoever has God lacks nothing. God alone suffices. Amen. It's a prayer from St. Teresa of Avila. The season of Lent, this writer says, simultaneously brings me joy and sorrow. I feel joy as the long winter starts to wane and the promise of spring seems right around the corner. Yet during Lent, I feel sorrow in my heart for the pain and suffering Jesus endured during his last few days on earth. The season of Lent reminds me that it is time to reboot and restore balance to my life. I have given up the usual things like sweets, offensive language, breads, and other things that are not good for me, and this year I plan to include time for prayer and fasting. I plan to journal my prayer time, fast from the media, and try not to be tempted by subtle ways of evil, which include fear and anxiety. The world is certainly full of those qualities. St. Teresa of Avila teaches me not to be disturbed or frightened. I will try not to give in to fear or anxiety, but instead look to God, Christ, and my Guru for every need. Divine Beloved, you remind me that all things pass, you never change, and that you will provide for my every need. Amen. I would venture to say that for those of us who are struggling so to understand and just even, fathom or comprehend or process what's going on in Ukraine and the rest of the world, that some of this really resonates. Let nothing disturb you, let nothing frighten you. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I was thinking the other day what it's like for us. Here I am driving along a street. It's a beautiful sunny day, above freezing. I don't quite see sprigs of spring yet, but I could smell it in the air. And I immediately wondered and thought about people in Kyiv and along the countryside and what they are thinking and feeling and fearing. I think I agree with this writer. Lent does simultaneously bring me joy and sorrow. I do feel joy as the long winter starts to wane. But during Lent, I think my philosophy is not to give up something, but to take up something. Take up something else, like she was talking about taking on prayer time, to journal her prayer time, and to fast from the media. Boy, I like that one. Try not to be tempted by subtle ways of evil, which include fear and anxiety. to take up an intentionality of practicing something. I encouraged us all to do that. And even though we're already into Lent, it's not too late to start. It's never too late, even if you just do it for one day. But this idea that we need to stay centered in and anchored in the divine can really get us through these times. Let nothing disturb you, as Teresa of Avila said. Let nothing disturb you, let nothing frighten you. All things will pass away. All things. The fear, the anxiety, even us. And we will once again be in the liquid light of God. So I encourage you today to figure out what you're going to do. Maybe it's something even different from what you started out Lent doing. This is a time to reboot. How are you doing with that? What do you need to do to pull the plug in order for the hard reboot to happen? And do that. Set aside a time right now, whether it's today, this weekend, whenever it's going to be, to reboot. Unplug. Clear the decks. And start over. Happy journeying. I'm Pastor Deb Swift of South Presbyterian Church. Thanks for joining me for this prayerful pause with the pastor. Until next time, God bless. Take care, and bye for now.